Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Desiree DeMars, and I'm really excited today to share a sacred symbols reading with you, sometimes called a bone reading or a reading of the bones, which is a divination process. For those of you who've never experienced this before, it's a divination process that I received initiation through and for an African tradition um, and it's a way of working with the ancestors, receiving guidance, healing, insight, wisdom, clarity, and I like to mention also that I know it appears on the surface to just be this reading, somewhat like a tarot reading might be, with these um, beautiful symbols or curios. But just know that these are infused with intention and life giving energy to be also a healing. So you may receive a healing, you may receive an experience far beyond the physical. And also know that in my prayer and intention when I do an opening circle in preparation is that the guidance, the healing, the wisdom, the clarity that comes through not only is to benefit us, but we are being of service so that this expression through us is also a healing, or an awakening, an activation, if you'd like to call it that. It's a channeling for all those we come in contact with, that just through our presence, others will receive the benefits of this information. So, with that said, again, I make an offering, I do a prayer of intention, and just to keep things short for you two, because I know people's attention or time span is short, we'll just dive into the reading. So I think what I'll do though is I'll rattle for a few seconds so that you have the opportunity to just take a deep breath, center yourself. Let's all do that together. With a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. This just allows the jaw, the neck, the head, the shoulders to relax and allows the spine to sink even deeper into the cushion. Just find that balance point so that we are creating a central channel for alignment with the highest frequency possible of information, guidance, and wisdom. So just imagine as this divine white light comes down from up above, it anchors us down into the earth, into the divine feminine. And then it comes back up naturally, flowing up through the earth star below our feet, activating all of the chakras so that all of our chakras are balanced and aligned, front and back. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and then back up to white, creating a toroidal field, a fountain of energy, which I will just share with you that in my initiation, I saw all of my ancestors flowing through this toroidal field in what I called a rainbow. It was a rainbow of light, and they were in the form of light, and they were flowing. So it just was representing the cycles of life, infinite and eternal. So this rainbow toroid, just feel it expanding, and then get in touch for a moment as you're breathing with the emotions of the chakras, which is even more important than the color, is that we are activating these higher frequencies within us emotionally. The joy, peace, strength, courage, gratitude, humility, and divine love. So just feel that now, a rainbow light of toroidal energy in the field, opening sacred and divine. And then with your imagination, see a golden pyramid higher above, even into those realms of higher frequencies, angelics, ascended masters, and those elements may be yet unknown to man. But we know that this is communication. It's a field of communication. Our superconscious is there in this expanded state and reaching outward. That is our intention, to connect through our superconscious awareness, to connect with that field of the superconscious where everything is information, frequency, light. And we are having a conversation on that level, far beyond the words that are expressed. So just feel that golden liquid light come down through your central channel, and again, become a part of the toroidal field, this rainbow light, activating a cosmic or atomic activation. It's an atomic activation where, just like a battery, this north and south meet in the middle. The dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine, are meeting and creating this big bang, in a sense, right? It's like that super cluster star energy that we are, the star that we are, the star nations that we are ultimately connected to and aligned with, because that is our true birthplace, right? That's truly from where we were born, where we came from. And just feel the magnitude of that and how powerful that is, in that it's not necessarily power out, but it's power in. It's recharging, revitalizing, reactivating this hidden wisdom or suppressed wisdom, suppressed understandings that we have had, that were conditioned out of us, conditioned through fear, or one of my teachers calls it FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So just know that we are activating ourselves far beyond this fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and amplifying our field to connect in or plug into these higher frequencies of gratitude, humility, divine love. And this is what will bring magic. This is reactivating the magic and the miracles of us, each of us being a creator in our own life. We are the creator of the life that we live. And it's not to say everything is rosy and perfect all the time, but it just is. It's the process. It's part of what we signed up for, to come here in physical form and to have experience. So it's not good, bad, right, or wrong. It just is. And we can allow that flow of infinite wisdom to help us with our understanding of that. And in so doing, it allows us to release the resistance. It allows us to release the triggers. When we realize we're so much bigger and we don't have to be impacted with the drama or the trauma. You know, we don't need trauma to release it. We don't need drama to release the trauma. That again is another aspect of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And it is not the truth. And we are ultimately seeking these higher levels of truth. Because as we are evolving, especially in these times with the veil being so thin, we are evolving into a remembering. I call it a soul remembering of being our own medicine, of knowing that this information that helps us align our actions with our true heart's desire or our true nature and purpose. And then we live from that place of a creator, knowing that sometimes things don't go the way we planned or the way we thought they would. Sometimes they're even better, and sometimes they're a little challenging. And then we have to work through that or live through that or play through it. I mean, you can choose. That is the point of being the creator, that we are making choices about how we decide to experience these transformations, these transitions that we're going through. So with that said, also, I'd like to just complete this moment of you taking a breath or two for intention. and clarity about what you will receive in seeing and what you will receive through the words that I channel. And that not only you and not only me are receiving this as maybe this first run, whoever is watching and experiencing the reading today, we are also experiencing the implication or the activation of others, all those we come in contact with, all those on other frequencies and timelines that are tapping into this information here today through us, through our intention to be of service to ourselves, to expand and evolve ourselves, but to also assist others in expanding and evolving. And I just want to say that everybody on the planet that is of service and doing work right now, I honor and have deep, deep gratitude for the beauty and the diversity. For there's unity in diversity. That is the way of nature. And more and more I'm going to explore with you is this field of biomimicry, which is fascinating. It just shows us, there's many inventions already out there and creations that came through somebody understanding something in nature, that nature is far beyond the mind. It uses so little energy. It is sustainable. It is incredibly creative, and it is also perfect on the level of being evolutionary. So if you're curious about my coaching work too, I invite you to look at my website of evolutionary coaching, which is based on many other teachers' work that I have woven into my shamanic practice throughout the years. But it's about, again, being the creator, being the predominant creative force in your life. And so we are partnering with these other creative forces that are in these higher realms, right? And supporting us to move forward and evolve. So with that said, again, I invite you to take on one more breath. Exhaling, relaxing and releasing any preconceived ideas of what will come through today, allowing yourself then to be open to the power, the magic, and the wisdom of what will spontaneously come through this channeling, this reading, this expression of a sacred symbols reading. In full faith, so be it. Aho. So, I'm going to invite you all to take a nice deep breath and blow 3 times into the basket with your intention. And the science behind this is we know that intention is non-local, right? So even though there's this thing we call time and space, this intention, the expression, the attention. I got a little download the other day. It was super simple, and I'm sure somebody's probably said this before, but it was about the words I am. I is for intention. A is for attention. This is what we're putting our attention on, to receive information, right? Receive clarity. And M is for movement, which we know everything is in constant motion. It is spiraling. We are literally on this blue marble spiraling into space, right? Millions of miles per hour in the cosmos, evolving, transforming. So I'm going to tip the screen down so that we can see this together. And here we go. was a really interesting throw today. I feel like things did not want to come out, and I can't reach over to find, you might be able to see in the camera, but there's a piece that went flying off that is out here on the outskirts. I'll just, later when I tip the screen up again, I will grab it and I will let you know what it, but for now, I'll tell you what it's about is vision. So it might feel that way right now, that the vision that we are all holding is far beyond our reach, or it is out there in the cosmos somewhere, and it feels like it may never happen. I don't know if some of you watched the series called The Changing of the Gods, which just aired last week, which was phenomenal. Cinematography, photography, direction by Louis Schwarzenberg, who's amazing. If anybody is familiar with the work that he did about plants and mushrooms and the mycelium, the communication network that's below our feet, alive and connected to all life, and the beauty of Richard Harness and many others. Stanislav Grof, who I absolutely love and had the honor and true gift of working with Stan and Carol Grof many years ago out in California, and with holotrophic breathwork. So if anybody's interested, I'll put the link in the information below and mention that again. But so I'm just noticing, yeah, there's something kind of a little congested, a little, I don't know, might even feel like some things are stuck, or just kind of taking a step back in order to move forward. Which I know today, if I were to look at the weather, what's happened here in the last week or so, that's exactly what's going on. And I guess that's how spring is, that in between time. We had beautiful spring, 70-degree weather. Everything is blossoming and budding. And now today there's a little dusting of snow and howling winds. So you might hear that in the background. But just it's just reminding me that this is sometimes how evolution really happens. We have a big shift forward, and then we have to take a step or two back in order for the physical kind of to catch up with the mental and the emotional. So it's all good and it's all unfolding perfectly. This is beautiful. We have the shaman here, and the dice here is showing the number 2, and we have the ancient ancestors on our father's side. The ancient ones on our father's side are really here, open and receptive to supporting this co-creative process that we're in, this evolutionary process that we're in together. The ancient ones are really here, so you can really tap into the ancient ones, especially through the third eye and the crown. This is where this transformative energy or frequency is coming in from ascended masters and angelic realms. That's what this little basket's about. And it's somehow also, all of that is saying sometimes what we have to do in order to move forward is to release the old, release what no longer serves us. And this little rose-colored quartz here is about the chakras that are at the soles of the feet and the palms of the hand. So this kind of gateway. So sometimes right at the gateway, you might want to imagine, I got chills when I said that, is that this gateway where the transformation is in a higher frequency out there, and here it's the gateway coming into the physical form. Yeah, notice what needs to be released, and what you might notice, or where you might notice that release happening, is in the heart. And we have a little double heart energy. This is all about soul retrieval. So just know that whatever is released leaves a space for a retrieval or for something else to come in. In fact, we have a triple whammy here. We have heart chakra. This little jade piece is heart chakra. And then we have the Celtic cross or Celtic knot in the center of the heart, in the center of this beautiful abalone piece, which is about reflection. It's about, so reflect, take a breath or two, take some beautiful time, take a nap, take a meditation to have reflective time about what really is resonating with your heart right now, because that is it's aligned to the rebalancing of the divine feminine, and it's helping us move forward into new foundations, new fundamentals about this process. This is where we're getting educated, right? By tapping into the heart, taking time for reflection. And in fact, it's time. Here's a little timekeeper here. There's two of them. They're both facing up. So I do think there's a little stall happening or something. It's just a little. So, and not like it's negative, but we just need to kind of take a breath. It's almost about like taking a breath, being sure, kind of rechecking things maybe. Tapping into, here we have our power animals resting on Neptune. That's saying, okay, take a breather, notice who's around you, tune into a pet or an animal, a guide. And yeah, this is Neptune, kind of the dark side or the backside of Neptune. So the shadow, I really feel that. And I believe we're going through there's some Neptunian energy. So it's just like being in the fog. I've said this before. I know in readings lately it's come up quite a bit is, what do you do if you're in a fog? Do you speed ahead, hoping you're just not going to go flying off the road or run into something? No, you slow down, you take a breath, take a breath, reassess, and then realign with the divine feminine. And so that this divine feminine ground ourselves again. First chakra, really dive into the first chakra, ground yourself, and know that in doing that, that's what will bring the clarity. The clarity will just come. There's kind of a misnomer, I think, about clarity, and thinking that, well, clarity means, boom, I get this big download and all this information. But sometimes clarity is kind of, it's a little etheric because it's connected to the element of air, which this crystal represents, air or thought. It's hard to grasp. It's not tangible. So just know that sometimes clarity comes when we least expect it, when we're not really looking for it, because it just kind of comes through the fog, and then pow, there it is. And here is the great grandparents on your father's side, the great ones, the greats, the great great, the great great great. They are all here in this time of deep transfiguration. And this transfiguration, I feel that we're really going through in the bigger picture, is all about the restoration of our power, of our personal power, third chakra, right? The power, taking the power back of being the creative force in your life. And here's Pachamama. She's hanging out with the great mystery, saying, you know what? Not everything is going to be known now. That's what's happening here with this kind of intersection that we're at between the ethers and the physical. And this is beautiful. The ancient ones, the female ancient ones, the mother, the maternal, and the paternal. And again, here's our blueprint, but it's resting on the spiral of the cycle of life, about speaking our truth, expressing what is not yet born, right? But it too is facing down, and it's saying, all in good time. All in good time. We really have to trust a greater timing is unfolding. And that's because right now we have a lot going on. We have the sun and Jupiter incredibly magnified right now as we go through this photon belt. I mean, we are wanting to move forward. Here's Mars. Frequencies are kind of pushing us forward. This is why we're having a feeling of rebirth. And Mercury, the communication of all this information is really, it's affecting our DNA, and it's really amplified right now. And one of, and the ancestors that can really support us right now with that, this amplification that Jupiter brings of the intensity that's already there naturally with Earth and the solar system's own evolutionary process, are the grandfathers. So call on your grandfathers. Here's the paternal grandfather, and here's the maternal, side by side, right? Kind of aligning with this idea of what's going on here in this greater picture of the cosmos, the cosmic forces. And the sun, obviously, is one of the greatest cosmic forces that we are involved in, subjected to, however you want to say it. I mean, it's a huge influence. Without the sun, we would be frozen, right? We would no longer be processing or evolving. And then this is really beautiful here. This piece that represents you, or me, or us, has Buddha resting right inside of it, right next to this piece and touching just about this piece that's all about ceremony. So, just creating ceremony to receive the abundance of the wisdom of the star nations, of this creative energy that's coming through, the fire, the inspiration, right? Allow ourselves to be open and receptive. If we're not receptive, you could be looking right at something. Here's a great example of that. I mean, it's just a short little aha that I had. One day I was in line somewhere to get something. I think I'd stopped somewhere to get a bite to eat on a road trip. And I wasn't really looking in front of me. I was distracted by a lot of the things around me. And right, to the side of me was like, I don't know if it was a $5 bill or a $10 bill, but there was a bill sitting there on the floor. And I didn't see it until all of a sudden somebody came by and picked it up. And they kind of looked around like, is this yours? Nobody said yes. And so they received the money. And I thought, that's funny. I walked up to it. It was right there, but I wasn't really looking at the ground. So sometimes what we perceive has so much to do with where we're focused, right? This goes back to intention and then attention. Where are you putting your attention? And the guidance here today is about, with all this that's going on, there's a lot going on at the center of things. Ceremony, seeing things that are sacred, especially in our home, and anything that seems to be kind of locked up. Here's the intention. So here's the message in the intention today. And what I'm inviting you to do is put attention on what it is that seems like you're not seeing. That's the lock. What is hidden? Oh, wow. This is powerful. I've never seen this configuration before, but here's the wish. A star, wish upon a star, right next to the key. And this bone, or this is actually a shell. This is drum, this is the heart, this is talking stick, and this is about mental balance, health and balance in the mental realms. So what is it that you're not seeing right now, or is you are blind to? What is not being shown to you? It's just a breath away. It's just below the surface. It's just to the side of you, right? And so all it takes is a heartbeat, a breath, a moment, right, of mental clarity about where you are focusing your attention, right? We know the intention. That's Buddha inside of us, right? Understanding, a deeper understanding about suffering and what we're doing here on the planet at this time, and making each moment, each breath a ceremony. That could be an incredible intention. Now, it's not to say that every waking moment is going to be a lovely ceremony, or feel like it is, but it's a vision. That's the vision that flew off the board. It feels a little out of reach because there are things, there's lessons, there's emotion. I think we are also, here's part of the message today. If this is the inquiry, right? What is reaching, what's right outside of that inquiry is this idea that structures are changing. This is Saturn. So it's just saying, authority figures, structure, it's all changing. Things are falling apart. There's a lot of struggle right now to keep things in place the way they have been, but they're just naturally falling apart, and they're not working for the greater good. They're no longer working for the whole community. That's what this is, Elkhorn. They're not working for the greater community, and they're not working to keep us grounded and in sync and in cycle with the nature, right? So this is what's being provided for. Here's the Earth Star. What's being provided for us naturally. There's so much ignorance and abuse and misunderstanding, and definitely a huge lack of gratitude and humility for the power of nature. For I know we've all heard this before, is, the earth will be here no matter what we do to it. The truth about this sixth mass extinction is that we are blowing up the food chain, so to speak. We're destroying it from the bottom up, and then we'll be, we think we're at the top and that means something. Well, it means nothing if we don't have our roots, if we're not grounded and we don't preserve the roots. So what's important here is mother, grandmother on your father's side, your mother, your grandmother on your father's side, two young ones, a young child. Oh, this is what's even more beautiful. That's kind of below the surface, but here's mother and here's father. Father, really amplifying throat chakra, speaking your truth. That was underneath the star nations here. This idea of nourishment, but also this little shell facing up is beautiful, right next to the mother, which is representing she's resting on emotions. Be in tune with your emotions, honor your emotions, allow the frequency and energy of emotions to flow, to play out, because they are what will inform the future. This is Eagle Condor. And, I think it was Deepak Chopra talked about this many moons ago, about the importance of, like, even if there's tears and grief, we all might be feeling, I hope we're feeling that. I mean, honestly, it's just unfathomable to me that anybody would be thinking about creating a war at this time. It's just insane. So the insanity, this is about the medicine within. So you are your own medicine. Start focusing on creating community that supports the true wisdom, the true balance of masculine and feminine. And keep your eye on the prize. Stay in line with the greater vision, which is, here's the grandmother. It's kind of focusing, it's pointing toward the earth, the element of earth. Stay grounded while you're an earthling. Honor the earth. Let your passion be for the earth. Let your service be of the earth, right? Of the mother that feeds you, that feeds all of us, right? And with the innocence, go back. This is what the pause can be about sometimes, when we have this opportunity to pause and to reflect. The reflection about that I mentioned earlier, about reflecting what's on the internal aspect of the heart right now, and the divine union that we have of our heart to the frequency of love, right? That is this innocence that we came in with. Reconnect to the innocence that we came in with. See your home filled with that love and light. Know that it's a healing process. This is dragon's blood on the hand, which is the physical. You may be feeling physical, but this is what the teaching that I was referring to from Deepak Chopra. He said that, I don't know, he rattled off a big long word that maybe had 15 letters in it, but it was the chemistry. It was about the chemical reaction and interaction that tears have in the physical body, and that they allow for the integration of the grieving, and then that which allows us to be stronger, to be clearer, to be more empowered to move forward. That's what this is about. Because even though you might feel like you're at a fork in the road, woo, I just got chills, my whole head. So this fork in the road, we may be feeling that, but here it's wide open. The sky's the limit. But we have to be the creators that choose a particular direction. So you make that choice, knowing you are responsible for your choices and how your life is playing out and how it's moving forward, right? How it's moving forward. Yep, here's the moon. So it's like, how it's being reflected back to you will depend on what you're creating. And so we know this is all about this huge transfiguration we're going through. And we're moving forward. Everything is moving forward and evolving. So that, my dear friends, is the guidance for the reading today. I hope you really enjoyed that. I'm going to tip this a little forward just so you might get a little closer look at it, or a little more of a bird's eye view, and just enjoy that for a moment. Wow, that was beautiful. So stay in your heart this week. And things about your work, I was going to mention here, this piece about work, this little elk bone or tip, elkhorn tip, is about work and your work in the world, your ultimate work in the world, not maybe the job, the job that you have, but the work, the soul's work. This is what we're talking about, the heart of the being at the heart of the matter, and what's really there, what is in divine union with the greater forces. So take time this week to reflect on that. And as let's see if I can grab this. I might not be, I don't think, oh, let me see if I can reach it. I don't think I could reach it, but let me just tip the screen back up and just say that, what's in following this guidance that came today through these beautiful curios, what I would say that's about is helping us. It's one step closer to that vision, one step closer. Here, I'm gonna make another attempt. Excuse my leaning in, but here, this was the beautiful piece about the vision, right? So, keeping the eye on the prize, right? Staying in touch with our vision. And no, it's okay to revision. Sometimes we have a vision, and then as we evolve and change, the vision needs to change a little bit. And that's okay. I think that's okay. That is the art of being a creator, right? Of focusing on the creation itself, or the process of creating. And no, it's all in divine timing. So I thank you all. I'm going to rattle to close the circle. Thank you for joining me. And I hope this was helpful and clarifying for you today. That was my intention, to just get clarity. So take a deep breath in and receive all of it. So blessings to you all on this blustery last breath of winter, flying through here on Saturday, March 12th. And I hope you're in a place that's cozy and comfortable, and you feel supported by the great and divine wisdom that is coming through to us in all ways, always. If we just take the time to have intention, focus our attention on that which we want to create, and move forward. I am. Reattuning to the I am principle. I am that I am. I am the creator who is moving forward on this evolutionary path to greater and greater awareness. So again, thank you for joining me. Aho.